Good morning. Today on Spotlight, Michigan's scholarly insight into the Iran war that is consuming the headlines. To borrow a spring baseball analogy, are we looking at a U.S. blowout, a battle that has us deeply in the hole, a spectacular no-hitter, or a ninth inning game tie about to go into dangerous overtime? Wayne State University professors Dr. Saeed Khan and Howard Lupavich look at the who, what, where, when, and why of this latest Middle East conflict now fully impacting America's military, economy, and political landscape. It's Sunday, March the 29th. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. And welcome to Spotlight. Professors, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. 1 month of the Iran war as of this weekend. Are either one of you surprised that we're into 4 weeks of this, or did you think it would have been over quick and dirty? Either one.
I think the expectation was it was going to be quick, but I mean, the goals at the outset, certainly the goals for the United States weren't that clear. And when the goals aren't entirely clear, the war tends to be more protracted. I mean, it reminds me of World War I. They went in expecting a very quick war, but it dragged on because it wasn't exactly clear. Even though what the beginning was clear, the end of the war wasn't clear. What victory means is not clear. So at this point, it doesn't surprise me that much.
Professor Khan?
I was surprised that we went into the war in the first place. Again, as Howard said, there were no clear objectives. There were no imminent threats, as has been substantiated. Now, I would say it actually reminds me more of something more recently, which was 2003 and Iraq. False pretenses to go into the conflict. Back then, as you remember, weapons of mass destruction, yellow cake, and Saddam Hussein gassing his own people. And here we have similar kinds of arguments that were made. No mission objective here that is coherent, and it seems as though they're making it up as they go along. And if that's the case, then we really don't know what are the metrics for victory, when and if either President Trump or Prime Minister Netanyahu or any of the other parties concerned want to go ahead and declare that this is going to be over.
The president says the objective is to stop Iran from building up its nuclear armory there, and also to make sure that they don't continue, or at least in a robust way, in terms of state-sponsored terrorism.
It's more about concerns. There were real concerns as opposed to objectives. That's it. Concerns as opposed to objectives. So it wasn't clear what Iran was going to do in the immediate sense, but the concern about Iran getting a nuclear weapon, I think, has been a concern for a long time. And Iran has been sponsoring, I mean, from Israel's point of view, Iran has been the main sponsor of two proxy groups immediately on Israel's border. So those concerns are powerful concerns. And I think for Israel, those are existential concerns. I mean, those are real concerns that can't be taken lightly. And even the possibility of Iran becoming a nuclear state and having that capacity had to be dealt with.
Professor Khan, President Trump said we hit them before they hit us. Agree or disagree?
Remember, Secretary of State Rubio said that Israel was going in no matter what, and if Israel went in, that meant that Iran would retaliate not only against Israel, but also against American interests. Therefore, we beat them to the punch. That's kind of a pretzel logic that's involved. And we have to remember that exactly 24 hours before the strikes began by Israel and the United States, there were negotiations on the nuclear deal happening in Geneva, Switzerland, and it looked like they were advancing and making progress. Mind you, this was a nuclear deal that had to be resurrected because President Trump rescinded the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal, which was negotiated for 20 months by the Obama administration in 2015. And here, with ultimatums that were being provided by the Trump administration saying, you'd better go ahead and sign, it reminds us of The Godfather, where we're going to make him an offer that they can't refuse, and either your brains or your signature are going to be on the agreement. By all measures, including the British, it looked like there was a good faith effort by the Iranians to go ahead and comply. The deal was even better and more restrictive than was the 2015 deal, but unfortunately we find that perhaps it was all a ruse when it came to both Netanyahu and Trump deciding to attack Iran a mere 24 hours later.
Professor?
But don't we have to differentiate between Israel's approach here and America's approach? Because Israel, in terms of proximity and in terms of the existential nature of the threat, it's more difficult for Israel, and I don't just mean Netanyahu, but I think Israel in general, they can't take any possibility or concern lightly, because even if the possibility is very small, the consequences will be grave, especially for a state this small, located so close.
All right, hang on one second. Catch your thought. I got to rush and get a little break in here. We'll come right back and we'll pick up with Professor Khan's response right after this. I cut you off. I'm going to let you pick back up.
Not a problem. I actually don't see Iran per se as an existential threat. And I think
Why not?
Well, because you're talking about a country that has a civilization that is thousands of years old. And it actually borrows from that long historical arc for its identity. And civilizations that are that old aren't reckless. They're not going to put themselves in a position of jeopardy and threat that they could then face annihilation themselves. And Israel has the capacity to do that by having, by most accounts, over 200 nuclear warheads itself, despite the fact that it keeps a policy of nuclear ambiguity. They know that there is going to be a retaliation if they were to wipe out Israel from the map, so to speak. So from that standpoint, I would actually say that if at most Israel would suffer a strategic threat from Iran, in part by its proxies. But we also have to remember that over a rather systematic process in the last 5 years, Israel has really neutralized, to the point of containment, most of its regional threats that were proxies by Iran. Hezbollah in Lebanon, Syria as a country, neutralized after 2024 with the removal of Assad, and after what we saw over the last several months in Gaza, the neutralization of Hamas. Now, do they still pose some kind of a threat with missiles? Absolutely, but not on the lines of it destroying Israel completely. What we have, though, is a fairly consistent message from Prime Minister Netanyahu since at least 1996, where he has staked his political career on demonizing Iran as being an existential threat, while we see, on the other hand, that there has not only been no evidence of Iran developing a military nuclear program, but assurances both by the Iran nuclear deal of 2015 and also verified by international agencies like the International Atomic Energy Agency, that Iran was in compliance.
So, Professor Khan, I think what I'm hearing you say, and I want to get Professor Lupovich to react to this, it sounds as though you're saying, in some respects, that the United States may very well be fighting Israel's battle. Is that kind of a simplistic way, and are we?
Well, I think it's a little bit simplistic. I mean, the United States is defending an ally. Israel has been the United States' probably most reliable ally in the region. But I don't think the United States would be fighting this if there wasn't some American interest in fighting it. I'm not exactly sure what that interest is.
Well, wouldn't the interest be maybe oil?
Oil is always a possibility. I imagine dealing with China is another possibility. Mm-hmm. But if I could just follow up with what you said about Iran not being a threat. I mean, I agree with what you said about
not an existential.
Not an existential threat. I agree with what you said about the Iranian civilization is old and ancient. Would you distinguish Iran or Iran/Persia from the Islamic regime of Iran? I mean, are their interests different, given that they seem to be, in some ways they're very much Iran, but in some ways even the people of Iran see them as sort of...
No, I wouldn't make that distinction, because in fact the regime itself doesn't make the distinction. If you listen to the rulers of Iran since 1979, I've had the good occasion to meet at least two, Mohammad Khatami, who was president from 1997 to 2005, and Hassan Rouhani, who was there from 2013 until 2021, who was in fact in power when the Iran nuclear deal was signed. They both will speak in these long historical arcs, talking about with great pride the pre-Islamic Revolution period, going all the way back to the Achaemenid dynasty, Cyrus, Xerxes, Darius, people who weren't Muslim, people who were Zoroastrian, as a matter of fact, people who were Muslim but not Shia Muslim. And so you see then that the identity is not necessarily forged by a very limited or restricted idea of self.
There's also rhetoric coming from the regime about wiping Israel from the map and burning it to the ground. And what do we do with that rhetoric?
So you and I are both, I mean, I guess we'll betray our ages here. We are children of the Cold War. And I remember, well, not in person, but hearing about Nikita Khrushchev saying, "We will bury you," and the rhetoric from the United States against the Soviet Union being equally bellicose. As best as I can tell, apart from movies like The Day After, we survived the Cold War without having any violence directly perpetrated on us. So I think that we have to understand that a lot of this is actually rhetoric, and we have to understand the audiences to which they play. I think it's more important to see how do they really act on that rhetoric, if at all, and we have no evidence that Iran directly, at least, has had any kind of act of aggression to its neighbors.
We'll hurry right back with more conversation right after this. And welcome back to Spotlight. A couple quick questions. We know that President Trump is speaking for the United States as its president. We know that Netanyahu is speaking for Israel. Who's speaking for Iran now that their highest leader has been killed? And will we truly be involved in helping to pick that person? Or is that the worst thing when President Trump stands up and says, I'm going to have a say-so in who the next leader of Iran is going to be, another country?
America doesn't exactly have a good track record of nation building or selecting leaders. Some might argue that we haven't in our recent past had a good record of even selecting our own leaders. So that's rather absurd. And remember that if it is going to be under the pretense of the Iranian people, they're not going to be very happy about someone else picking their leadership. The idea, and I think this was one of the erroneous points that both Netanyahu and Trump were seemingly making, was that if we cut this proverbial head off the snake dies. There are always people who will come into the role. We have a very condescending view of Iran as being unsophisticated. We have chains of command here in the United States. We have protocols of succession. We have amendments that deal with this if presidents, vice presidents are incapacitated or killed. The Iranians are not stupid people. They have expected and anticipated that one day there was going to be a strike against them, and so they have taken the appropriate measures, and now we see that this is a country that is not actually falling apart.
Well, Professor Lufovitz, you said it earlier, Israel has always been one of the United States' strongest allies and vice versa. As you look at sort of the big picture of all of this, what role do you see countries that the United States has always had an eyebrow up in regards to Russia and the leadership of now under Putin, as well as China? What role is all of this playing into this? And perhaps should the United States be doing exactly what it's doing to protect the United States' long-term interests?
The United States is best when it's not abandoning allies. The United States, when it moves away, regardless of who the allies is, at its best, I think. I think of President Kennedy. President Kennedy's his modus operandi for dealing with the Middle East was to be a supporter of Israel and with Egypt at the same time in order to guide the region in a more positive direction towards peace. And I think in the long run, even though not everyone liked it at the time, I don't think that was inconsequential in the fact that Egypt and Israel were eventually able to make peace. I don't know if it was the main consideration, but I think it contributed to it. So the United States should continue to support its allies for lots of reasons. The global situation might change, but the alliance between America and Israel has been a solid one, and it's been beneficial to both. And I think the seismic changes that would come by abandoning that alliance would outweigh whatever problems there are with it right now.
We'll talk a little bit about the plan and what the future may hold. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Let's talk briefly about not the objective, but the U.S. plan. And is the plan working? U.S. and Israel are dropping bombs. The U.S. is now sending troops over. Whether or not they'll be truly on the ground, hand-to-hand type of combat, we'll wait to see. Certainly something that President Trump at the beginning said we were not going to do, but perhaps is setting the stage for that. But we see Iran fighting back in terms of the port of Hormuz and blocking all of that up. A vital part of that is that oil, and if the ships aren't getting through, it's hitting our economy. Gas prices are certainly escalating. People are worried about their 401ks in the stock market. Whose plan is working better? And is Iran maybe being a little smarter in terms of hitting us where it really hurts?
Wow. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think time will tell. Eventually we'll know the answer to that question. But today, I think it's murky, to me at best, as to what the consequences of all this are. I honestly couldn't say.
Well, Professor Khan?
I'm hoping my colleague will have a better answer.
I'm not sure any of us have the answer because we're looking sort of into the future.
I think the consequences are already playing themselves out. In fact, some of the questions I think that Americans should be asking is about the legality of this entire war to begin with, something that really hasn't been vetted. By all accounts, we attacked a country that didn't pose an imminent threat to us. We are a country and a nation of the rule of law, both on the domestic side and on the international side, and there's a lot of question about whether the president, in fact, violated the Constitution by not seeking congressional.
Is the U.S. Congress doing its job?
No.
There have been no hearings on this war, but part of that is the political partisanship. In Washington, Republicans have the power, and Democrats say they can't get a hearing if they want it.
Well, I mean, every one of them took an oath to uphold, defend, and protect the Constitution. I think that needs to be vetted. But on the question about the economy, you're absolutely right. The Strait of Hormuz is such a critical passageway. And today we find that Iran is letting ships pass. In fact, the United States has lifted sanctions on people purchasing Iranian oil. That makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, if this is really an enemy that we're trying to suppress. On the day that the war began, before the price of oil spiked, Iran was selling oil at $67 a barrel under sanctions, but it was getting by basically sneaking the oil out to countries like China and India and others. It was pumping 1.1 million barrels a day. Today, it's pumping 1.5 million barrels a day, and because the price of oil went up, they're selling it at about $112 a barrel. They're making money right now off this war, and they have no incentive to have the war necessarily end because of that fact. The other thing is they're accepting currency outside the US dollar, which means then that the US dollar no longer has the dominance that it once did on the world market. So I think when you're asking the question, is Iran playing this smarter? They're a country that invented the game of chess. I think that they know how to look several moves ahead, and I think that's being evident right now. And you see the sign of desperation, particularly when it comes to the Trump administration, that they're not really sure how to countermand that.
Professor Lufovitz, quickly, I think I may have seen you nod your head, but I don't want to make that assumption. Is Congress, the U.S. Congress, doing its job as it relates to this war?
No. Congress, in many ways, has abdicated its responsibility. In my lifetime, I don't remember Congress being this weak and this passive with any president. And like Saeed said, I mean, the first thing, there should have been some more formal path towards war, some kind of hearings, something. But there really, I mean, all of that has been largely absent here. You know, the one thing I wanted to ask you, though, and this is something that I have read somewhere. So you make of what it's worth. But the argument was that the larger chess game that the United States is either playing or inadvertently stumbled into is in terms of China, where China's sources of oil are Venezuela and Iran. And so there's linking what happened with Venezuela to what's happening with Iran. It's all about cutting off China's source of oil. What do you make of that?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, that article was speaking the truth. If you look at this really long term, one of the things that the United States has been trying to do, both with the Trump administration and the Biden administration, is cut off this $1.5 trillion new Silk Road, the Belt and Road Initiative. It can't go head to head with China because that's just not possible anymore. But to go ahead and throw the wrench in wherever it can, and one of those areas is in Iran, and particularly because of the energy dependency that China has. But China is able to circumvent that by buying oil from Russia, and it is also moving toward alternative fuels. China's solar panel industry has really taken off about this, renewable fuels, electric cars. So I'm not really sure if we're going to be able to stop China, maybe slow things down, but it looks like China has really picked itself back up. And again, when it comes to long-term American thinking, I'm not sure that's really being done in Washington.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the unintended consequence was to move us more quickly towards alternative energy?
I really wouldn't hold my breath on that.
Very good. I only have time for a yes or no. We have a large Jewish American population in Southeast Michigan, a large Arab American population in Southeast Michigan. So there's obviously genuine concern from the communities here. Do you believe, and do you think the respective communities believe that both Iran and the United States leadership are looking for a quick exit strategy, even though it may not come quickly at this point?
I think they're hoping that they are. As to whether they actually are, I think it's very hard to say. It would be easier if, how can I say this diplomatically, if we had a president who was a little more, I don't know, predictable or trustworthy or less erratic.
Right. Professor Khan?
I think the communities are looking for stability, and I think they're also looking for durability in whatever peace and resolution to this can occur. But I think these are also communities that are American, and they're looking at what is going to be the long-term impact on us as a country, both domestically on its impact as well as on the global stage. And right now, that's really difficult to predict.
Professor Khan, Professor Lufovitz, thank you so much for coming in, sharing your insight and your scholarly expertise, and we appreciate it, and we'll stay tuned to see what the next chapter is in all of this. I'm Chuck Stokes. We'll be back next week with more Newsmakers in the Spotlight. We hope you have a great week.